You've probably said this sentence before. I can afford it. Not loudly, not dramatically, just casually, like it's a simple fact. You checked your bank app. You looked at the monthly payment. You did the quick mental math, and your brain gave you permission. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. The moment you say, I can afford it, you're usually not making a financial decision. You're making an emotional one disguised as logic. Because affordability today doesn't mean affordability tomorrow, and affordability tomorrow doesn't mean freedom next year. Most people don't calculate affordability. They feel it. If the card goes through, it's affordable. If the paycheck covers it, it's affordable. If the bank approves the loan, it's affordable. But banks approve debt because it benefits them, not because it benefits you. And this is where the quiet danger lives. You don't lose control in one big purchase. You lose it in dozens of small decisions that feel normal, until one day you realize your future is already pre-spent. Here's the tension no one wants to admit. The more money you make, the easier it becomes to misunderstand what affording actually means. And the higher your income climbs, the more expensive this misunderstanding becomes. Idea 1. If I can pay it, I can afford it. The survival definition. Most people use a survival definition of affordability. Can I pay this without stress right now? That's it. No deeper layer. No second question. But paying something and affording something are two completely different realities. Paying is about capacity. Affording is about consequences. Capacity is short-term. Consequences are long-term. You can have the capacity to buy something and still damage your trajectory doing it. Think of affordability like oxygen. You don't notice oxygen when it's there. You only notice it when it's gone. Financial oxygen is flexibility, and every recurring payment quietly reduces it. The dangerous part, you rarely feel the reduction immediately. It happens slowly, comfortably, politely. You don't wake up panicked. You wake up slightly less free, month after month. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. If your income paused for 3 months, not gone forever, just paused, would your current lifestyle still feel affordable? If the answer is no, then your affordability definition is based on motion, not stability. And motion can stop. Careers shift, industries change, health surprises happen, opportunities require relocation, markets swing. Affordability isn't tested when things are smooth. It's revealed when things get uncertain. Most people build a life that only works when everything goes perfectly. And perfection is not a financial strategy. Idea 2. Monthly payments are psychological camouflage. Nobody sells full prices anymore. They sell comfort. When $200 becomes $39 per month, $20,000 becomes $320 per month, $60,000 becomes less than your daily coffee. The price didn't shrink. Your perception did. Monthly payments are psychological camouflage. They hide the total weight of a decision by breaking it into pieces too small to trigger fear. Humans don't react to totals. They react to immediate pain. If there's no immediate pain, the brain labels it safe. This is why people with decent incomes still feel financially tight. Not because they don't earn enough, but because their future cash flow is already promised to past versions of themselves. Every subscription, every upgrade, every financing plan, every auto renewal, individually harmless, collectively restrictive. Here's the subtle shift. When too many payments stack up, you don't feel broke. You feel committed. Committed to bills, committed to choices you made months ago, committed to a version of your lifestyle you're now required to maintain. Opportunity shows up, a move, an investment, a risk, a business idea, and your brain hesitates. Not because you lack ambition, because your flexibility is already leased out. Affordability isn't, can I pay this? It's, will this payment quietly decide my future for me? And the most expensive commitments are the ones that feel small, because they repeat. Idea 3, lifestyle inflation feels like self-respect. This is where things get emotionally tricky, because lifestyle inflation doesn't feel reckless. It feels earned. You worked harder, you improved your skills, you climbed your career ladder, you increased your income. Upgrading your environment feels like honoring your progress. Bigger apartment, better car, nicer clothes, more dining out, more convenience. None of these are wrong. The issue isn't upgrading your life. The issue is upgrading automatically, without intention. When every raise instantly converts into higher expenses, your financial identity stays the same. You're just decorating the cage. You run faster, but you're still on the same treadmill. There's a quiet psychological effect here. Your brain adapts quickly to comfort. What once felt luxurious becomes normal, then expected, then necessary. Suddenly, the lifestyle you once dreamed of Feels like the baseline you can't fall below. And now affordability isn't about growth. It's about maintenance. You're no longer choosing expenses. You're defending them. Ask a difficult question. If your income doubled, would your freedom double too? Or would your obligations simply get more expensive? Income growth without control creates prettier stress, not peace. Idea 4. Opportunity cost is invisible until it hurts. Opportunity cost is one of the most misunderstood forces in finance. Because you never see what you missed. You only feel what you couldn't do. It's not just money. It's mobility, timing, energy, mental bandwidth. You skip investing during downturns because cash flow is tight. You delay moving cities because leases and loans hold you. You postpone starting something because risk feels unsafe. Not because you're incapable. Because your structure is rigid. Affordability isn't about purchases. It's about permission. Money gives you permission to act quickly. When you misunderstand affordability, you slowly trade away that permission, and it happens politely. You don't feel robbed. You feel busy. You feel responsible. You feel adult. But deep down you sense hesitation growing. Two people can earn identical salaries and live completely different futures. One buys comfort early. The other buys flexibility first. 5 years later, the flexible one appears lucky. It wasn't luck. It was optionality compounding. Opportunity rarely announces itself twice, and rigid finances slow reaction time. In modern economies, reaction time is wealth. Idea 5. Identity spending versus intentional spending. Here's something most people never articulate. Many purchases are not about utility. They're about identity. You don't buy the phone for communication. You buy it for relevance, status, belonging. You don't upgrade the car for transportation. You upgrade it for self-image. Identity spending isn't evil, but it's dangerous when it replaces intentional spending. Intentional spending asks, does this align with the life I'm building? Identity spending asks, does this align with how I want to be seen? One builds leverage. The other builds appearances. Appearances are expensive to maintain. Leverage is expensive to ignore. The wealthiest people you admire usually look calm about money. Not flashy, not anxious, not impulsive, because their spending decisions are quiet. Systems-driven, delayed. Calm spending compounds. Impulsive spending circulates. Here's the reframe most people need. Affordability is not a number. It's a relationship between today and tomorrow. True affordability asks deeper questions. Will this reduce my ability to pivot? Will this increase my stress if income fluctuates? Will this decision quietly control future choices? Does this purchase serve my trajectory? Or just my mood? You don't need extreme frugality. You don't need deprivation. You don't need guilt. You need awareness and systems. Wealth isn't built by denying enjoyment. It's built by preventing enjoyment from sabotaging freedom. You can enjoy life and build leverage, but only if you stop measuring affordability by immediate comfort. Immediate comfort is cheap. Long-term control is priceless. There's a massive difference between, I can buy this, and I can buy this without shrinking my future. One is consumption. The other is power. Power isn't loud. It's quiet confidence. It's knowing a purchase won't trap you. It's knowing income changes won't scare you. It's knowing opportunities won't intimidate you. Calm discipline beats intense motivation. Motivation burns hot and disappears. Discipline compounds silently. You don't need 20 hacks. You need one mental upgrade. Stop asking, can I afford this now? Start asking, will this make my future self more flexible or more restricted? That single question filters out most financial mistakes automatically, not through fear, through clarity. And clarity creates control. Control creates peace. If this shifted how you think about spending, even slightly, then the next logical step isn't budgeting harder or cutting random expenses. It's understanding the bigger difference most people miss. Managing money and building wealth are two entirely different games. One keeps you stable, the other changes your direction. And if you want that distinction to click clearly, the next video on screen breaks it down. You're managing money, not building wealth. Watch that next, not because you have to, but because once you see the difference, your financial decisions start feeling lighter, calmer, and a lot more intentional.